just getting started.
We're dumbfounded. We don't get it. Lost.
New tonight at 10 and only on Denver 7. We're hearing from the man who hosted Chris Watts and his little girls for a party just days before the girls vanished.
He would reach out and help anybody that needed help with anything.
A new perspective on who Chris Watts was before his alleged confession that he murdered his wife and daughters.
You know, the hardest part about it all is when you're closer with the family, it's the why.
Our team coverage continues tonight, tracking every new development in this case as more and more questions emerge, especially from those closest to the now accused killer.
He stayed the night at our house across the hall from our 5-year-old.
That'll help me.
Denver 7 starts right now.
And we'll get to that emotional reaction in just a minute. But first, breaking new horrific details emerging in just the past 30 minutes as to where the little girls' bodies were found.
Let's get straight to Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski live in our newsroom. Jen, you just got word from several high-ranking sources. I have to say, it keeps getting more disturbing.
Teresa and Tom, it does. Now, we first learned this from a well-placed source early in the day, but in calling several other sources close to the investigation, nobody wanted to touch this. Our second source came in within just the last hour. Here's what we've confirmed. The two young girls' bodies, 3-year-old Cece and 4-year-old Bella, were found inside an oil and gas tank owned by Anadarko. That's where the husband worked up until recently. Now, sources tell us that the oil tanks were mostly full and say the motive was likely twofold: hide the bodies and disguise the scent. Tom and Teresa?
Just terrific.
Hard
Thank
to
you,
hear.
Jen. And as these new details emerge, the story has shaken the country, the world, and even our own backyard here in Colorado.
And there are still so many unanswered questions tonight. Let's back up for a second, walk you through the timeline. We know that 33-year-old Christopher Watts is spending the night in jail, accused of killing his pregnant wife and his 2 little girls.
Shannon and the girls disappeared Monday. Tuesday, Christopher Watts spoke to Denver 7 cameras pleading for their return.
And then last night, we were the first to alert you about the alleged confession to the killing.
And then, of course, late today, the 3 bodies were recovered.
This case is tearing apart a very tight-knit community tonight. In an exclusive interview with a family friend who, like many of us, is in complete shock after spending time with Chris Watts and his little girls before the girls went missing.
And we continue our team coverage tonight. Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is in Frederick tonight with that exclusive and very emotional interview.
We are going to check in with him in just a moment. First, let's check in with Denver 7's Jackie Crea live outside the Greeley jail, tracking more on the investigation.
Yeah, well, we know people as far as Australia were following this heartbreaking story. So really, as you said, the world watched as investigators searched for Shanann and the bodies of her 2 young children, a husband and father accused of the unthinkable.
It was just like, I miss them.
From a slightly distraught husband in an interview with Denver 7 to an accused killer in an orange jumpsuit, all eyes were on Chris Watts as he appeared in court for a bond hearing. Meanwhile, investigators would find his dead wife's body and their unborn child.
At this point, we have been able to recover a body that we're quite certain is Shanann Watts' body.
Her body was found in an open field owned by Anadarko Petroleum, the company her husband worked for. Prosecutors believe she and her 2 girls were killed inside their home, but the details as to how and why are sealed in court documents. And not long after that, the bodies of the couple's 2 young daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, were found in close proximity, according to investigators, to Shannon's body.
Manner of death would be undetermined at this time. We don't want to speculate anything or rule anything out.
Prosecutors could consider the death penalty.
Communication and collaboration, discussion with her family, law enforcement, members of my office, members of other offices who have sought, whether successfully or unsuccessfully, the death penalty in other cases.
Meanwhile, the community in Shanann's family raises money to help lay them to rest.
In expressing our sorrow for the loss of Shanann Watts, Bella, and Celeste. This is absolutely the worst possible outcome that any of us could imagine. And I think our hearts are broken for the town of Frederick as much as anybody's.
And we are told prosecutors have until Monday to decide on charges, and tomorrow night the community will gather for a vigil in front of the Watts family home. And meanwhile, Chris Watts sits in this county jail. We're live. Jackie Crea, Denver 7.
Jackie, thank you.